Greetings, the Astro 30 here, and I have purchased myself a DigiTech 20 MHz USB oscilloscope. Now this cost me $200 from Jaycar, and I am not in any way promoting Jaycar, advocating for them, or being sponsored by them. But anyway, this cost around about $200, $199.95 I think it is. And it's a specialist unit. It's basically a hardware interface to the outside world, and it runs on any Windows machine. Now, I don't want to hear anything about Windows versus Linux in the comments, please. Now, some of you may have issue with a software driven hardware oscilloscope like this using a computer. Some of you may not. A true DSO, digital storage oscilloscope, of this brand actually, from Jaycar, is around about $900 for a 100 MHz dual channel. And before I get too ahead of myself, this is also a dual channel. And it also comes with two 1 to 10 probes, a USB cable, and I assume some instructions. So I'm just going to open the box, and we're going to have a quick look at what's inside here. Oh. Now, it's fairly light, and it comes in an anti-static bag. So I'll keep the anti-static bag for something else. They're always handy. You don't want to keep that, throw that out, that's poisonous. So there's the unit there. It's looks a bit like, I don't know, a Cisco router or a modem or something. It has USB X1 on it, as well as standard USB. Yeah, and it just basically sits on your desk. Now, the thing is, this is DC coupled all the time. There is no AC, ground or DC coupling switch. So if you're going to do signal tracing in audio circuits, like amplifiers for instance, like transistor power amplifiers, you're going to have to remember this is DC coupled. So you probably have to put your probe through a capacitor first, or else you're just going to start reading DC voltages instead of AC waveforms. Just keep that in mind. So what else do we have in here? We've got the USB cable. We've got one Hantek ×1 × 10 oscilloscope probe, and under this bit of cardboard here we have the other Hantek ×1 × 10 oscilloscope probe, and a software driver disk. So seeing as I already have a laptop, I plan to use this oscilloscope on the laptop, which the screen just went blank. Don't worry about that, that's just the screensaver. However, my Acer laptop does not come with a CD drive, so I'm going to have a little bit of a problem installing the software to run the device on that laptop. So what I'm going to have to do is copy this disk on my other machine down there onto an external hard drive just to install the software. The problem with that is, well, I was going to say this only has two USB ports, but no, it actually has three. There's one being used by the mouse, there's a spare USB 2 here, and there's a USB 3 over here. So I've got plenty of ports for now. So I'm going to first copy this disk onto a portable hard drive just so I can set the thing up. Okay, so I'll just plug the USB cable that came with the product in. Seems to have a red one and a black one. Wonder why that is. One's a plug, the other one's a plug. Because USB 3 is blue, not red. So I'm not too 100% sure about that. There's no instruction manual with this, which is kind of interesting. So I think I'll go with the, maybe I'll go with the red one. So I'll plug that into the computer, and then I'll plug the other end into the back of the device. There we go. There's no light on the front of it to say that it's functioning. The device itself doesn't appear to be doing much. The computer doesn't appear to be doing much either. Okay, maybe I'll unplug it from there and try the other cable. Oh, now the computer recognised it. Would have been nice if there was a light on the front of the device saying whether or not it was plugged in, but there's not. Right, well, the computer's not saying anything about any extra devices plugged in. So, alright, we'll run the setup.exe file and see what happens. Right, okay, next. Next. See, that's an old installer. Click finish. Okay, now what? So we'll close. Oh, I see, the manual's actually on the setup disk. So let's see what happens when we actually open the application. Well, the interface looks pretty interesting. However, I don't see any form of input. So what I might do is I might hook up one of these test probes and see what happens. I don't seem to have any activity on the scope. So I'm just wondering, did this install the driver, or you know what? Fuck's sake. Okay, so reading the manual a little bit, you're supposed to plug the USB cable, the black one, into the port on the back and into the computer, and it's supposed to say new hardware found. However, it didn't do that, but you're supposed to install the driver. So if I look at here and go into the driver directly, I can just go right click on the inf file, go install, and that should install the driver. Well, apparently it installed, but I'm still not getting any output, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so to 100 millivolt. I'm on times 1, so I should be seeing something on the screen, but I'm not. So yeah, I thought this would be like, you know, bloody easy, but no, apparently not. And its minimum requirements are, yeah, see, it's saying the QC-1929 driver is not working. So I'll go and install it this way. Okay, next. Well, I'll uninstall the device. Now I'll unplug the unit, plug it back in, update the driver. Okay, well, I'm trying this oscilloscope out on my normal desktop PC because there's something weird about my Windows 10 machine, which is going to be kind of annoying trying to use this from here, but I'll deal with that issue later. So now I'm going to try and install the device software for this oscilloscope on this machine using the provided software disk. So I'll go into the driver folder, I'll click on install. Install. It's actually a Hantek driver, so I should probably go to the Hantek site. Well, device setup has come back up. It's saying it's installing the device, which it was not actually doing on the other computer, but it's a DSO-6022BE. So, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So the operation completed successfully. So I'll just go into Device Manager. If I could spell the bloody thing correctly. Right. And, well, we have no unknown devices, but let's see where that is. Probably be in somewhere here. Software devices maybe? No. Oh, there it is. QC-1929. So it's installed the driver fine on this computer. So maybe if I go to the Hantek site I can get the correct driver. But let's see if the oscilloscope actually will work on this machine. Right, so that should be installed. Still no light on the front. Yeah, so I'll keep that open. Now where did it put the stupid thing? Where are you? There it is. But nothing seems to be running, so this is frustrating. The scope apparently is running, but it's not actually giving me a graphical user interface or anything. The thing should just be plug and play and should just work, but apparently it doesn't. So, okay, I'm getting fucking pissed off. The GUI will not open. I mean, really, honestly, this is bullshit. I don't know why it's not running. Won't even run as administrator. I am just absolutely frustrated. Absolutely frustrated. So, thing is, will the thing even run? Well, it hasn't even run at all. I can't see it. For $200, I'm not impressed. Not impressed at all. Okay, after screwing around on the internet, I managed to find a working driver for the Hantek 6022. It's actually a BL driver, I believe, but it is actually receiving an input off the square wave output of the oscilloscope hardware interface. I've got it connected across there. So now that that's working, I might stick that to ×1, and I'm off screen, so I'll change the voltage. Okay, it's 5 volts per division, 2 volt. I've got to figure out how you actually use this. Move that down, there we go. That looks more like a better square wave. So I know the oscilloscope is working, and well, it's saying channel 1 is at 2 volt, which is what it's set to, but it's not actually showing me any other information. I'd really like to see, you know, some valid information here. That's where you go to get the driver for this particular model, and I just clicked on the download link for the Hantek 6022BE driver, and it comes with a lot of Chinese writing. See, that's the folder information. It's all in Chinese, but it does actually have a one for Windows 10, driver for Windows XP 7.8 and Win 10 with a version number less than 1607, or Windows 10 1607. I didn't check the version number, that's the one I just tried and it seemed to work. You know, all this trouble I go through just to review a product that should work straight out the box, end up with problems, and yeah, man. Well, at least it makes a video, because I haven't received a preamp for that Project Amplify thing that I'm doing at the moment yet. I'm still slightly annoyed. Okay, it's doing a sweep function on the DDS at the moment from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and it seems to be working. Unfortunately, that cursor does not seem to output any valid information. Okay, I think I've figured out how to use it to give me valid information. On channel 2 it doesn't really matter. I've just changed the trigger source from channel 1 to channel 2. If I directly hit that in the center, we get no valid output at all. It just stars 0. But if I go and click at the bottom of the waveform there, and then drag it up to the top of the waveform, it gives me the voltage output. And well, it's saying 36.93 kHz, which is incorrect. But I haven't figured out the frequency part. I'm set to 2000 Hertz, but I can't figure that part out. But if I start with it at the bottom of the waveform and then move it up, I can actually measure what its output is. It's currently saying the voltage is 2.04 volt, just by simply clicking the cursor on the screen. So all I did was change from the source from channel 1 to channel 2. So I'm changing it back to channel 1. And you also have to change the cursor's input from the source channel 1 to channel 2, but I'm going to change it back to channel 1. So I'll just swap the inputs on the scope to channel 1. There's our output. I'll turn channel 2 off. I'll set my cursor to there, drag it up to the top of the peaks, and yeah, 2.07 volt. So it's not perfectly accurate, but at least it gives me the voltage output. Well, now I feel like an idiot. There's the real-time information there. Okay. What it's called is it's called the measure window. So when you go into view, you select measure window. In the vertical type, you can have the maximum, the minimum, the peak-to-peak voltage, the RMS voltage, the amplitude, if you really want, which is probably much the same as peak-to-peak, cycle mean, all that sort of information, which is just available there. So what I'm more interested in is the peak-to-peak value and the RMS value. So that's what I'm going to leave it set to. I feel like a complete idiot. And of course, on the horizontal section of that window, you can also measure the frequency, the rise time, fall time, duty cycle, pulse width, and all that other fun stuff. And we select that from the view menu by making sure the measure window is turned on. Currently it's turned off. And that the output window is turned on. Currently it's off. And that gives us all the information that we need, well, that I need, down there. How about that? And I believe that window is also adjustable Yes, it is. So I can actually put it right down further if I want to. So I'm going to end this video here. Would I recommend this oscilloscope for a novice user? Yes. Once you figure out that the measure window is what shows you the actual valid information, so you don't have to sit there and calculate, you know, peak-to-peak voltages using the graduals, or I think that's what you call them. Well, we'll say the grids anyway. Yeah, it's okay for the money. It works. The software is a little bit iffy. I have managed to crash it several times by playing with the cursors. It just crashes randomly, well, on Windows 10 anyway. But that could be a driver issue, I don't know. But yeah, I would recommend that you buy it if you want a basic measuring tool. But if you want something that just shows you all that information without having to screw around with settings, go buy a $800, $900 oscilloscope DSO that does the same thing. But basically the takeaway from this is you get what you pay for. Does it work? Yes. Is it good? Yeah, it's reasonable. The driver issue with Windows 10 using version 1709 could be a little bit of a problem out of the box, as we found out. You'd have to go onto the Hantek site and download the driver that I previously described in this video to make it work. I will put a link in the description to that driver if anyone's interested. It's just a zip file. But yeah, you're going to need that in order to make it work on Windows 10 version 1709 or higher. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. It's gone on for way too long. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see this oscilloscope be used in future videos, I'm sure. Anyway, thanks for watching.